Avarie Howard here in Lincoln following Tuesday media availability. I have another lengthy press conference recap for you all because we've officially made it to game week. We heard from both the offensive and defensive coordinators and a handful of players. I'll start with Dana Holgorsen, as this is his first fall camp here in Nebraska. He shares his analysis of how he thought camp went, his thoughts on the tackle position, and his overall comfort level with the play calling operations.
One really good day at camp. Played a lot of football. Covered every situation known to man, so to speak, and our guys are ready for a game. It felt like I was experiencing Hard Knocks, just from like that NFL camp stuff, just how we practiced, how we had it structured, the situational stuff. You've never been in a position where you can put 3 oars at tackle. And so there's legitimately 5 bodies that they just keep rotating, and so I trust Coach Raiola to be able to know what he's looking at and have a feel for who's playing good, who's not playing good, and it's our offense now, so I know it in and out as well as I need to know it. I got tripped up at times, and had to make some adjustments to what the offense was in order for it to make sense to me, and I think we've done that, and I think it makes a lot of sense to Dylan. And our communication is very, very, very good.
Moving on to John Butler, he shared with us his observations of Brendan Sorsby, Cincinnati's quarterback, and also what he'll be looking for early in Thursday's game from Cincinnati's offense.
Big, strong, runs hard. He's tough. He delivers the blow more so than he takes hits. So that's a challenge physically that we've got to answer early to make sure that that doesn't get out of hand. Game overall, the quarterback's ability to kind of be an equalizer, and then thirdly, how does their tight end continue to affect the passing game as it relates to their new players that they've just signed in the transfer portal will be kind of the 3 things we're looking to figure out early in the game.
And as we may be hearing a few names awarded black shirts this week, Coach Butler shared he also gave his first impression on what he thought of that tradition when he saw it for the first time last season.
I can just remember last year, again, it was a whirlwind for me being here and, kind of everything and how it happened. So I was just focused on coaching, right? And then one day, I think it was right around this time last year before the first game, those guys came out in the black jerseys, and I was like, man, that's pretty damn cool. Just like nobody really said anything to me about it, and and I didn't know the history as far as that they actually practice in the black jerseys. I apologize for my ignorance, but I knew of them, and I'm just out there getting ready for practice. I see the guys coming out, and I'm like, that's some cool stuff right there.
Moving on to a few of the players we heard from today, starting with quarterback Dylan Raiola. As we saw over the weekend, 6 captains were voted on by the team for this 2025 season. Dylan shared an in-depth answer on what that C on his chest means to him.
And it's a tremendous honor to be able to represent this football team and represent, honestly, not even the guys here right now, but everyone that came before us. Every single person that's walked through these doors, names up in the stadium, championships that have been won. And to be able to, wear a C on my jersey. It's a lot more than just the patch. It's more of the blood, sweat, and tears that I had with these guys, and just them being able to respond to me trying to lead them and all the guys that deserve captain honors. So it's an honor.
He also shared how excited he is to finally go up against someone else other than his own teammates come this Thursday.
Our defense is ready to hit a quarterback. Not just this one, but just in general of being able to, bring someone to the ground. Because we do a lot of thud. We do go live sometimes, but yeah, we're excited to, put drives together and kind of get results of, all the off-season work that we put in.
Sharing that same sentiment, we heard from Henry Lutovsky, who shared how excited he is to go up against a different D-line and also how serious he's taking his game prep this week.
Yeah, I'm so ready. It was a long camp, long off season, but it's finally here, and so I think everybody's excited about that. Show your respect to any opponent is, I'm going to prepare all week long, every single day, every minute I have to prepare.
Next, we heard from wide receiver Dane Key. Although newer to this program, he established the trust of his teammates. He also shared what it means to be named a captain for this upcoming season.
Honored to just to earn the captain role. Just everybody in the building, not only the building, but I only really care how the players feel about me, because at the end of the day, I'm glad I established just the role of being a leader on this team and just how much everybody respects me on this team. And, it was truly just an honor.
Dane also shared with us the expectations that Coach Holgorsen has for this wide receiver room and why this camp was so important to Key to prove himself so that he can be trusted this season.
Coach Dana told me, he said, if you don't want to come be that guy, then don't come here. So, that only made me want to come here and show Coach Dana that I'm that guy, and I have to show him every day of what I can do. And, my preparation, from spring ball to fall camp to, now my game week preparation has just been to show Coach Dana, what I can do so that Saturday or Thursday this week he can just let the ball in the air and he can trust us to go make plays.
Moving to the defensive side of the ball, we heard from Williams Winery, who shares why he thinks his move to Nebraska has allowed him to play with less pressure and more freely.
When I talked to Coach Rule, he told me he just wanted me to come in, just be myself. Just play my game, and I feel like that's what I came in and have been doing, and I feel like it's been working out pretty good for me. I would say, last season at Missouri, I kind of may have put a little too much pressure on myself, overthinking in certain areas, and just coming in and just being free, playing freely, and just being myself has just helped. At the end of the day, it's just ball, so going out there having as much fun as you can.
A coach on the staff that we've heard so much about is Jamar Mosey. We heard Coach Rule rave about the speech he gave the team a few weeks ago. When asked about the impact that Mosey has had on Winery, he said,
almost like a second father to me. Throughout my recruiting process, he guided me through it. I went on most of my visits with him. It's just almost like a mentor for me. A guy that I can always lean on, and I know he always got my best interest at heart.
Moving on to one of those other captains named over the weekend, Marquise Buford Jr., he shared the confidence and trust he has not only in Coach Butler, but also playing behind his defensive line.
I love Coach Butler, and, I couldn't be more confident in, having anybody else calling out what we're going to be running out there on the field this week. Well, weekday, not weekend. But, yeah, I'm super excited for him, man. He's a fiery, passionate guy, and he comes to work every day. So you can't want anything else from a coach, that's going to be leading you guys out there to play. I'm extremely confident in these guys. All winter, summer, spring, they work their tails off. And, they have a great coach over there. Coach Terry's amazing. I don't get to talk to him as much, seeing he's not my position coach. But whenever I do, I can tell that they have someone that really cares and loves the game as much as they need him to. And, those guys, they come to work every day. Riley, Williams, Desan, I could keep naming guys, Keona, Cam. They're all dogs, and I'm excited to play behind them this year.
Lastly, we heard from Sierra Wright, who shares what the last few details of this fall camp have looked like and also where he's seen himself grow the most.
Really just been focused on swarming around and flying around. I think that's one of the biggest points of a defense, everybody getting to the ball. So I think that's something that we definitely really harped on towards the end of camp. And I think it's been great to see how we've come along with it. I wanted to hone in on just everything technical as a player. So I spent a lot of time this offseason really just trying to be detailed about everything that I'm doing, detailed with all of my movements, really breaking down myself as a player. And I think I really did a good job of that. I spent a lot of these, weekends just out there on the field with myself or with some of my teammates, kind of just trying to figure out certain things that I may have slipped up on last season, watching some of my old film from last season, looking at routes that I was beat on, and really working on those routes specifically. So I think that I, filled in some of the holes that I had last year.
And there you have it, my final press conference recap before the first game of the season. Nebraska will kick off their 2025 campaign in Kansas City on Thursday at 8 o'clock down at Arrowhead Stadium.